Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Pardon Our Picks Playoff Edition. I'm Sam.
I'm Tarek.
We welcome you to this playoff edition of Pardon Our Picks, brought to you, of course, by Wildcard Concepts Incorporated. Wildcard Concepts, more than just a sign shop. Catch them up in Westminster for all of your sign and decal needs.
Tarek, you guys noticed? It's just the two of us this time.
Yeah.
Yep. So with everybody's schedule being crazy, most of us are parents and working and different things like that, guys. Our illustrious boss man atop me here suggested we do something special this time.
Stop it. You flattered me.
I should. You're so flatterable. Which is, it's a word. It's a word now.
My goodness. I'm going to start blushing. I'm probably already red, but it's been an incredible season, man.
Weird season.
Yeah, it's been indescribably odd, but in a way that I actually really enjoyed.
It's so indescribable. Describe it to me.
Oh man, I couldn't even begin to. Been a lot of highs, been a lot of lows, and that ending. I mean, Jacksonville dropping the ball, Philly dropping 5 out of 6. It's just
the Bills ending on a whiff. Like it's been weird.
Yeah, it is. Well, not everything works out the way we thought they were.
Yeah. So, speaking of the season, why don't we look at how this season ended with our panel?
Absolutely. Jump into it.
Boom. Click. And I fell back down.
That's okay. Still a little bit of time. Our records actually go through the playoffs, so
they do? I thought there were two separate records.
We're going to keep.
That's my claim to fame, is that I have the most wins for the postseason.
We are going to keep
this away from me, Sam. It's all I've got.
We're going to keep a separate record, but I'm thinking, got to break the tie somehow. So why not include it in the overall record too?
But if I win the playoffs, then neither one of them have a tie, and it's pointless.
True, you could beat us in the playoffs.
It's probably not. I'm just putting that out there for all our tens of people that watch this. It's probably not going to happen.
Hey, I believe in you. You can do this.
Yes, with my encyclopedic knowledge of all things football.
It's all right. I love your knowledge of football. Oh, well. All right. Well, let's get right into it. We're going to jump right into those videos. Everybody sent in videos individually, as Tarek said. Let's get to that first one.
Yep. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. We'll come back at the end. We haven't watched them all, so we don't know. But we'll come back at the end, see you guys one last time for this video, and we'll see you there. Let's get into it. All right, we'll see you guys in a minute. Peace.
Bye.
This is Big Mike from Big Mike's Real Reviews, and I'm here for Pardon Your Picks, another guest starring appearance on such a great program about NFL and picks and all that good stuff. So, without further ado, this is going to be the playoff edition, 2023-2024. So, we already have who's in, who's out. We know who's playing in the wild card. This is week 1 of the playoffs. We're going to do our picks. We're also going to do Super Bowl predictions in this video. So, without further ado, I'm going to get right to mine. So the first game we have is on Saturday. It's the Browns versus the Texans at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I think this one's going to be a good game. It's going to be kind of a knockdown, drag-out thing. The Texans have been playing pretty good as of late. So of the Browns, Joe Flacco, we know ever since he's taken over, he's been playing on another level. Mr. January is in full effect right now. I mean, that's what he's calling for the Ravens. So I have a hard time betting against Joe Flacco, so I think I'm going to take the Browns in that game. I'm going to take the Browns over the Texans. I will take, let's see, Dolphins Chiefs. See, this one's a little divisive. Okay, Dolphins Chiefs is a little divisive in my opinion because both teams have not been playing well really as of late. Just because it's home field advantage, just because it's going to be the Chiefs. You know, Patrick Mahomes plays lights out in the playoffs usually. I think with this pick, I'm going to have to go ahead with the Chiefs for the 8 o'clock game on Saturday. Now, let's look and see. On Sunday, we're going to have Steelers-Bills, and Steelers have to go to Buffalo. They barely squeaked into the playoffs, beating Baltimore when Baltimore was sitting their starters. Any given Sunday, but still sitting their starters. Easy. I'm going with the Bills. They've been on a hot streak. Josh Allen's just been, he's literally just put the team on his back and been carrying the Bills as of late. So I'm going Bills. That's the 1 o'clock game on Sunday. Now, 4:30. That's going to be Packers and Cowboys. Now, the Packers, they're 8-8, 7th seed. They got into the playoffs. They've been playing pretty well. These young guys have been really playing some exciting football. Do I think they can go into Dallas and beat Dallas? No. Dallas puts up tons of points at home. The Packers do well too. Would do well against the Cowboys because of their run, of a lot of the play action that they do. The Cowboys usually don't really play well against that, but I don't think they can outscore the Cowboys, and the Cowboys will get, I think, like a turnover or something, or a crucial stop, and I don't think the Packers will be able to keep up with the Cowboys' offense and how much points they'll be able to put on the board, especially at home. So the 8 o'clock game on Sunday, we have Rams-Lions. For me, this is a bit divisive because this is what I would like to see. I would like the Rams to beat the Lions. I think if the Rams beat the Lions, they can go into San Francisco and give them a really hard time, perhaps even upsetting San Francisco. That would be very good for my Cowboys because that means if the Cowboys make it to the NFC Championship game, they will be playing at home. So I'm going with the Rams, more of a hopeful, wishful thinking sort of thing. Then we have Eagles at Bucks. Eagles have been playing like crap. They've been playing like crap. So I'm going with Bucks. I'm going with Bucks at home. Now Super Bowl predictions. I really think that on the AFC side, the Ravens do have, some real competition, but I do think the Ravens will make it to the Super Bowl. I feel like if the Rams don't take out San Francisco, because I feel like Dallas can beat the Rams at home in an NFC Championship game, then that would be Cowboys-Ravens, which is my two favorite teams. But on the off chance, I would like to see that happen, but probably not. I'm still going to have to go with a repeat of 2012 Super Bowl, which was the San Francisco 49ers versus the Baltimore Ravens. With, I think, the Ravens pulling it out because we saw what they already did to San Francisco. I really think the Ravens will still be able to beat San Francisco in the Super Bowl. So ultimately, that is my Super Bowl prediction as well. So this has been Big Mike for Pardon Our Picks. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Football Jesus. Oh, wait. King Football Jesus reclaiming his throne as the rightful heir to your pick videos. On this, our final video for Pardon Our Picks for the playoffs. So break this down as quickly as I can because you guys know I can be a little long-winded. So let's see here. First matchup Texans-Browns. I have the Texans taking this one. I think this is going to be an old-school shootout. The Browns are banged up. Mark Cooper's not 100%. He's practicing, but I don't see him being the same speed. And the Texans just have that fight in them this year. So I think the Joe Flacco Cinderella story unfortunately ends this week. Moving on, Miami, Kansas City. Temperature forecasts are having this one in the negative degrees. So I think this plays more into Kansas City's favor, as they're the healthier team. Miami's down like 4 linebackers already, signing guys off the street. And Kansas City has shown a propensity for running the football really well this year. And again, Miami, Mostert's not 100%. It's Achan's first year, so I expect a little bit of a drop-off, especially playing in snowy conditions for the first time in his career. So I have this game being pretty close, but I'm going with Kansas City. Third game, I don't think it's really going to be close. I think Buffalo's finally going to get out of their skid, and the comeuppance of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're finally going to hit that final wall, and they're going to be bumped. So I have Buffalo moving on to the next round. Jumping over to the NFC, I think the Eagles finally get back on track this week. I just haven't seen enough out of Tampa Bay these last 2 weeks to really think that they're going to make any sort of run this year. So I'm going with Philly, even though they are pretty banged up, and Jalen Hurts is going to be playing with like 9 fingers. The game that I'm looking forward to most this weekend, this first week, the Rams against Detroit. I'm going with Detroit in this one solely because they have home field advantage. I really see these teams as being very evenly matched across the board, especially if Sam Laporta can play for Detroit. That remains to be seen, but I'm going with Detroit in a very close game that's probably going to come down to a last-minute field goal. And then I think Dallas is just going to blow out Green Bay. Sorry, Green Bay, you've kind of surprised everyone being the youngest team, I think, ever to make the playoffs across the board. But you're unfortunately playing the Dallas Cowboys week 1, and I think this is the week where Dallas kind of gets back in that groove of putting up 40 points, especially at home. Moving on to the divisional round, I have Kansas City beating Buffalo on the road. Again, I think Kansas City finally gets that stride, and we've seen Buffalo kind of not show up against the teams that they're supposed to show up against. So I have Kansas City winning this one. And then I have the Baltimore Ravens beating the Houston Texans, just being that more veteran, more complete team. And we'll see if guys like Dalvin Cook are able to contribute for the Ravens. And unfortunately, CJ Stroud, you've been great this year, but your time is up. Going over to the NFC, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys over the Detroit Lions. They played each other really close and had that controversial finish a couple of weeks ago. But I think Dallas kind of learns more from that than Detroit does. So I have Dallas winning this game. And then I have San Francisco blowing out the Eagles. I don't think that's really needs to be spoken more. I think San Francisco is one of, if not the most complete team in the league. So I think San Francisco walks away with that one easy. Moving on to the championship round, I'm going with the Ravens. This offense that the Ravens have this year is completely different and nothing like the Ravens have had in the past. Going up against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs have shown a real problem with drop passes and playing against good teams. So I'm going with Baltimore at home here. And then against the between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, I'm actually going to go a little bit off the grain here, and I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys winning this one. I don't know why. There's just something about this matchup that I don't like for the San Francisco 49ers, and I can't put my finger on it, and I don't really have enough time to really research it. So I'm going with Dallas. And then in the Super Bowl, I have to go with the Ravens. There's no chance about it, but again, guys, thank you for everything this year. I've been King Football Jesus, as my birthright proclaims. Can't wait to see you guys next year.
All right, so here are my picks for Wild Card Weekend. I have the Browns beating the Texans. I think it's going to be a really good matchup. I have the Miami Dolphins beating the Kansas City Chiefs, even though it's going to be one of the coldest games in history, if not the coldest. So I do think the Dolphins are going to struggle a bit with that, but I just don't see the Chiefs using this game to get right. I also have the Buffalo Bills beating the Jaguars. They're just not healthy. And the Bills are on a streak here. And the Eagles beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though the Eagles have looked horrendous. The Rams beating Detroit, because I think the Rams are a bit of a sleeper, or they were. I mean, they're in the playoffs. So, and Dallas beating Green Bay. Good game, though. Ultimately, I think it's going to lead up to a rematch of the San Francisco and Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl. So what that means, obviously, for a couple teams getting beat down the line, but the Ravens will be beating the Browns when they come to Baltimore. And that's my hot take. All right. Thank you.
Hey guys, hope you're having a good night. This is Tarek the GM here, talking to you with the last video of the 2023-2024 season. It's been a crazy year. We've talked about it in every single video. Wanted to give you guys my picks for this weekend of the playoffs and who I think is going to the Super Bowl. All right. Thank you to all our guests and everything that has been a part of it. And let's get into what I got. So this weekend, we got our first matchup, Saturday at 4:30. We got Cleveland and Houston. This, I think, is going to be – it's either going to be one way or the other. I think it's either going to be just a complete trouncing or it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to go in Cleveland's favor. You got Joe Flacco coming in. He's playing for the Browns. He's got a great postseason record. Let me see. I don't know who the rankings are here. But I think Joe Flacco with the Browns, I think the Browns would look just a little bit better. I'm going to go with them for the first game Saturday. Next, we got at 8 o'clock Saturday, we got Kansas City and Miami. This is one of the few that have given me really big pause with the playoffs this year. Both teams have looked bad. They haven't looked great. Kansas City's had a very off year, very up and down. Their first loss was to Denver before they started looking good and went on their winning streak. Miami is another one of those promise. They look good when they look good, and when they look bad, they look really bad. I am going with Kansas City just because they have home field advantage and they have experience in the playoffs. They've been to the Super Bowl like twice in the last 5 years, so we're going to go with that. All right, next we got Sunday at 1 o'clock. We got Buffalo at Pittsburgh. I'm going with the Bills on this. It's an easy pick. Pittsburgh does look good. They're starting to pick it up right there towards the end. But even beating Baltimore there at the end. But the Bills have been one of those teams that have scared me all year long. When they look good, they look amazing. They kind of slumped there at the end. I think they're going to pick themselves back up. I think they're going to beat Pittsburgh. All right, next we got Dallas and Green Bay. This is an interesting one. You got one of those old school rivalries that kids today may not know about. Dallas, I've said it week after week on any of these videos. Dallas has looked better than they have looked in years, knock on wood. I think they're doing great. Green Bay kind of picking up after Aaron Rodgers' debacle. We'll see how that one goes, but I'm going with Dallas. I think they're really gonna bring it. So next we got Detroit and the Rams. I'm going with Detroit on this one. I'm going with the Lions. The Rams haven't really impressed me. I'm just feeling it a little bit, going with Detroit. And then we got the final game of this weekend of the first round of the playoffs. Going Philadelphia. The Eagles have won again. This is just such a weird year, guys. I'm going with Philadelphia. I'm going with the Eagles. They haven't, when they look bad, they kind of disappointed, and everyone kind of wondered what the heck happened. But I'm going with it. That's what I'm feeling. All right. So those are my picks for everybody. We got the Ravens and the 49ers on a bye. So the lowest winning team plays them. We're not going to talk about the next 2 weeks. But going into the Super Bowl, based on all the matchups, I was trying to find a bracket just to make it easier. Maybe I'll find a graphic to put in the video at the beginning or end here. But I think I'm going with the Ravens. I think they're going to do it. Now the big question for me on the other side of that The top two teams, I'm down to two. I'm down to Dallas and I'm down to San Francisco. It'd be really cool to have a rematch from 2012. It'll also be really cool. Wouldn't know who to root for if Dallas won, because Dallas is my NFC team. Grew up watching that with my dad. So we'll see. I'm leaning towards Dallas. I want to just make a weird pick and see what happens. So we're going to go with Ravens and Dallas, and hopefully the Ravens win. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll turn it back to the next person, and then I'll see you at the conclusion of this video. Thanks for a great season, guys. Bye.
Hello, my name is Zane, and my picks videos are Browns, Chiefs, Bears, Cowboys, Lions, Eagles, and my Super Bowl picks is Ravens. Go Ravens! See you next time. Bye.
Okay. I have Houston and Cleveland. Cleveland's going to win. I have Kansas City, Miami. Even though it's going to be cold out there, I think Miami's going to win. Buffalo, Pittsburgh. Buffalo's definitely going to win. Then going over to the other side, I have Tampax Bay and Philadelphia. Well, I think Tampax Bay is going to win. Not by a whole bunch. It's going to be a close game. So Detroit and LA, I think Detroit's going to win that one. I think that's going to be sure will. And then you got the Dallas Cowgirls, and Green Bay. I got Dallas winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay did it. And, because Green Bay has just been winning like that. They've been doing that. So, and I think Ravens, Lomar, and the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl. And I think it's going to be Baltimore, San Francisco. So, anything else? That's it.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining in. Here are my picks, the host, for this first round of the NFL playoffs. I have the Cleveland Browns in what's going to be probably a defensive battle against the Houston Texans. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Texans winning that game. Noah Brown winning touchdown towards the end. See what happens, but I have Cleveland for now. We'll go on to the Miami-Kansas City game, and I think that with the way that cold weather is going to be hitting that city in Kansas City, I don't think Miami stands a whole heck of a lot of chance. It's going to be in the single digits, wind chill in the negatives. So look for the Chiefs, who are more used to that kind of weather, to come out on top of a low-scoring game. The Steelers against the Bills. Steelers made it into the playoffs because, things happened. I have the Bills winning this one, although the weather is to be believed at this point. It's supposed to be snowing in Buffalo, which should actually benefit Pittsburgh. But I think Buffalo still wins it in a surprisingly close game. We'll go to the Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys play well at home. However, they have issues against Green Bay in the playoffs. It's a sticking point in my family. Well, mostly for me. And I think that Mike McCarthy actually gets it done. But it's going to be on a last-minute Brett Maher field goal. So, see what happens. Then we move on to the Detroit Lions at home against the LA Rams. The Matthew Stafford coming home, that whole trade to send Goff up there. They've both done pretty good where they're at. The Lions, I mean, they've been on an absolute tear, but so have the Rams recently, and I think that the Lions go into that game and get a win at home in what's going to be the highest scoring game of the week. And then we have the Philadelphia Eagles going into Tampa Bay. This one was the one I struggled on most, simply because Philadelphia has been struggling so much. And Buccaneers have been actually pretty decent recently. Baker Mayfield been leading that team pretty good, but I have the Eagles squeaking it out and get right in the ship, moving on to the next round. As far as my Super Bowl pick goes, I have the Ravens against the Cowboys. I know people are going to lambaste me for that. I got the Ravens winning, though. So, in a fun Super Bowl. So, thank you very much. Wow.
Wow.
Dude.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot believe some of those picks. That's just why? Who? Just
who and when and the things and the stuff.
It's going to be crazy off season, crazy playoffs if that's the case. Okay. So I can't even more. Go ahead.
Football. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys again so much for watching. We appreciate you guys being here, all the ones and tens of you that watch. Please click like, please subscribe. We got a couple more videos we're going to do just to finish off the season. Quick little tidbits. Please watch through to the end. We'd appreciate it. Please click like, click subscribe again. Leave a comment. Let us know who you guys are going to pick for the Super Bowl. Let us know your crazy picks or our crazy picks or what have you. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next week. As always, I'm Tarek.
And I'm Sam. And you have a great football week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.